Dunkirk
Yeah.
review. It's funny. I read your review to it.
Okay.
I actually agreed with a lot of things that you said.
Well, thank you.
You can practically see it from here.
What?
Home.
The things I loved about Dunkirk is it's one of the first war movies I've seen in a very long time, if ever, that really depicts the absolute anxiety and true horror of war without having to result in graphic violence.
Right, it's a PG-13 film.
Yeah, and it actually doesn't feel like it's watered down, you know? It doesn't feel like the way
straight. Yeah.
I felt like, although it's rated R, it shouldn't be rated R, was Last of the Mohicans. That felt like a watered down, kind of like fake, bullshitty sort of film. You know, like, that was like, yeah, they shoot the guy with the arrow and there's no blood, kind of the same way, like, when I see the Hunger Games.
Right.
I'm just like...
The classic PG-13 bloodless violence,
yeah.
you know? Yeah.
But like with Dunkirk, it's really about how the soldiers see everything and how their view is sort of skewed.
Oh yeah, and that helplessness.
Yes,
like you said, the anxiety.
Like because you see,
nails that.
Yeah, mostly in the film
that.
you don't see what's happening because that's intentional.
Yeah,
it's intentional that you don't know where that torpedo's coming from, or where that bomber's coming from. It's if it's a friendly or not. I kind of miss David Julian in a way, who used to score to Christopher Nolan's films. I miss the subtlety.
Hans can get a little... I like it because it's strong.
But this one I liked because it was literally shell shock musically. Was great. It really captured like shell shock and fear, anticipation,
and with a film that doesn't have that much dialogue or exposition, a lot of times Zimmer's score is the voice of the film, and the tension or the feeling of the film, and it's really well done. I can't argue a bit there. The crux of my review was I felt like it was missing. The film was missing an emotional anchor. You know, the setting made it emotional, the tone and all that's there, but I feel like the emotional anchor is stronger if you can attach it to a human, because we're humans. Yeah. You know, I think we empathize or sympathize, either one, better when we're watching all those things happen to somebody that you're invested in. Yeah. And even though young Theon Whitehead plays Tommy and we're following him a good chunk of the film, you know, there's not a lot there to grab to. It's nice to watch him cheat death and root for him in that way, but that's not a super amount of emotion. And then you get Mark Rylance, who has no emotion, and then you get Tom Hardy, who really has no emotion. Yeah. So if those are my three heroes for the three phases of that movie, it's I don't know, it's not a heavy enough anchor.
The traditional thing in Hollywood movies is to cast 28, 29-year-olds, 30-year-olds, and pretend they're younger. We wanted to cast people of the right age.
He uses entirely composite characters. Even Kenneth Branagh's main commander is not based on any particular character. Yeah. And if you're going to make a very huge historical film, or at least an epic, and I'm talking about emotional anchors and having at least something that the Tom, Dick, and Harrys that have devices like this can go home and Google something. Yeah. Give them a shimmer or a glimmer or a shimmer of a true story in there. Like a great story I've been telling people about who would listen is one of the first officers on the Titanic, Charles Lightoller. Yeah. Lived through, obviously, Titanic, and he piloted one of the little ships of Dunkirk that day. Wow. So that's a guy who survived Titanic, survived Dunkirk, and went back 2-3 times.
Put that guy in the movie.
Then, quite quietly, but quicker and quicker, she seemed just to slide away under the surface and disappear.
Or if you're going to do composite characters and you want composite characters you care about, go watch The Clinic that is Saving Private Ryan. Those are composite characters you feel for, root for, learn about, and gravitate to so well.
I remember my
Dunkirk
grandmother
can't hold a torch of that.
I remember my grandmother weeping when the who was that one kid? I can't remember. He played like the bad guy in Avatar.
Yeah, and Giovanni Ribisi, the medic. Yeah,
and he got shot, and he's like begging for his mother. Yeah. It's like that scene hits you.
Yeah.
I want to go home. I want to go home. Mama, 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 mama.
I know that's not Nolan's purpose. He wasn't going to make a movie like that, but if you want me to apples and orange war movies or rescue movies, I know better ones.
And that was a rescue movie. Yeah. One scene that actually encapsulates the whole Dunkirk situation most beautifully was that single 5-minute take in Atonement. Where you see him shooting the horses, and there are guys singing
choreography
for,
of that,
singing for their lives. And there's like a million times, but that's not the film Nolan was trying to make.
I know, that's the line I keep hearing. That's not the film Nolan was trying to make. But it's hard when you're going to ask people not to compare those things.
But
that shot in Atonement, I'm not saying it's better than any of the shots in Dunkirk, because there are awesome shots in Dunkirk. But that's a pretty good 5 minutes.
I mean, that captured much more of the desperation and sadness.
The disorganization for me.
Yeah.
When we meet Dunkirk in Nolan's film, we're lined up and waiting on the beach. It's like a bad bus stop.
The Atonement scene just captures more emotion than that, and than the entire film of Dunkirk.
I agree. Which is hard.
Now everyone fucking hates me, and I see the downvotes.
Go ahead.
Come at me.
Same here.
Fuck
I've been
you.
doing it all week.
Fuck you. Come at me.
Doing it all week.
Yeah, so I have a differentiating opinion. Fucking shoot me.
It's still a good film.
We still like it.
It's still a really good film, but it's not a 5. It's not perfection.
Yeah, I'd say 4.
Yeah,
like for me.
I was at 4. I slept on it, got to 3. I'm not gonna arm wrestle anybody if they call it a 4.
Where's the bloody Air Force?
It's a 3 out of 5 from me. It's not a masterpiece.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know, I can't give it a number. I can't unequivocally say, well, it's 3 or 4.
Well, I mean, it's an average for me. It's a 5 for technical filmmaking, but then it's like a 2 for story.
Yeah, I'd say like, and I'd have to give it, I'd give it a 4 just because I haven't seen a war film that is as different or unique as this one in a very long time.